Alrighty, so we are going to talk today about finals week prep. This will focus primarily on things you need to do to get ready for finals, not necessarily studying, although there will be a little bit of that in here. But before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Brittany. I am the College Transition Retention Coordinator for Missouri College Advising Corps. I am the one for most of you that has been texting you this year. I am a Mizzou alum, so go Tigers. I'm also a former first-generation college student. In undergrad, I studied interdisciplinary studies, which is kind of when you take a bunch of stuff and put it together. And then I got a human development and family studies minor. I went on to graduate school where I got a master's of social work and a master's of public health. I have been in this role since about 2018. I'm originally from St. Louis, moved to Columbia for college, lived there for probably about 11 or 12 years, and now I currently live in the Kansas City area. And I am a big lover of all sports, any sports, every sport, and musical theater. Those two kind of seem like a funny combo, but I love them both. If you are needing any help, you can copy this link at the bottom and go to my Linktree page, and it'll take you to all my socials, my YouTube, our event calendar, and a lot of good stuff coming up. So jumping right into some finals week prep. First, this is something I've been wanting to share with y'all for a while, and it's not necessarily finals week prep. You might use it when you're prepping for finals week, but this is something that could be really helpful for people that maybe are having trouble with procrastination or really getting things done. So this is called the Pomodoro Technique. What it is you study or you do work on one task for 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break. So on this kind of diagram, you'll see it says protect your Pomodoro. So during that 25 minutes, you need to be doing focused work, actually getting things done. And then you can take a 5-minute break. During that 5-minute break, that doesn't mean keep working for 5 more minutes or switch to a different task. Do something else. Get up and go for a quick 5-minute walk, or go to the bathroom, go get a drink, kind of maybe even scroll Instagram for a second if you could do that for 5 minutes without getting distracted. Then after that 5 minutes, do another Pomodoro or another kind of 25-minute window of work. You'll repeat that pattern for four times. So you'll do 25 minutes of focus work, 5 minutes of break, 25 minutes, 5, 25, 5, 25. After that fourth Pomodoro or that fourth 25-minute focus period, you can take a longer break. So you can take a break of about like 20 to 30 minutes. And then after that long break, if you're still feeling good, jump back into a different task. So this is kind of supposed to help you with getting things done. So 4 Pomodoros or one of these periods, you might only be working on one task. You might be doing, like, let's say you're doing an essay. So the first Pomodoro, maybe you're doing your cover page and reference page. The second Pomodoro, maybe you're starting on the opening paragraph. The third Pomodoro, maybe you're getting to the meat. The fourth Pomodoro, you're doing something else. It might take you longer than that to get it done, but you can kind of think of it, breaking it up that way, but you should be working on one task. So you don't want to like start on one thing for 25 minutes and then hop to something else and then hop to something else. You want to be working on something until you're getting it finished. So this can be something really helpful. It could help you study for finals. It can also help you get some of those final projects done. However, jumping into finals more specifically. So right now, many of you will probably have finals week around the first or second week of December. So this is kind of built off of that. However, even if your finals are earlier or later, this schedule should still work for you. So first and foremost, find out what day, what time, and the nature of your finals. Is it going to be multiple choice? Is it an essay? Are there going to be a lot of problems? Do you get to use a calculator? Figure all of that out. Typically, you can find that in your syllabus. If not, ask your professor, ask your instructor. However, some of your instructors might give kind of last exams during the last class instead. So you might not have a traditional finals week exam. They might do that during the last class. It's your job to know when that test is happening and what it's covering. You might also have an exam that isn't particularly a final or comprehensive. It might be you've done one final that was about the first third of class, one final that was about the second third of class, and now this last final or exam is on the final third of class. So kind of figure out what you're working with. And then you need to figure out what accumulated information is fair game or what is probably going to be on the exams. Figure out all of that, get that kind of ready to go. And then you want to divide that information into manageable chunks. So however your brain works, kind of think about if it's a history class, it's very easy to put things into time periods or on a timeline. Maybe you need to do things kind of based on like essay questions. So kind of you form it that way, but really divide it into manageable chunks. And then this is kind of how you will pair it together, or what you would do in one sitting. So next would be Thanksgiving break. So for many of you, you might get a whole week next week. You might only get 2 or 3 days. It doesn't matter. You should still have some time to get things done. Now, I do want to just preface this with still enjoy your break, still get some time to relax, but there is some work to be done over Thanksgiving break. If you do some things over Thanksgiving break, it can make your end of semester a lot easier, and you can really relax over winter break. So first and foremost, take home materials like studying or anything you might need for any comprehensive finals, any classes in which you're making a C or lower, and then any classes that are like prereqs for your major or like required classes. So the reason that one's on there is because prereq classes or required classes are classes that you like cannot fail. You'll have to pass those. If you fail them, or if you get a certain grade that isn't required, you will have to retake it. So it's really important that you are getting good grades in those classes. However, in order to like get any studying done at home, you need to make sure you're setting boundaries and minimizing distractions. So kind of balance that studying and break time. Like I said, I still want you guys to relax. I still want you to enjoy time with your family. So maybe you need to plan some specific times to be by yourself and to study, kind of plan out your break. Maybe that's in the morning, maybe that's in the night, maybe that's at lunchtime, whatever works for you, but you want to have a little bit of time in there to get some things done. And maybe you should set some goals for each course, especially courses where you're maybe teetering that line, you've got a C or a D and you're trying to finish out with a C or get that B. Maybe you set a goal for that class. So I'm going to study chapter 1 over break, or I'm going to create flashcards for my math class, or I'm going to make a study guide for history, but kind of set goals of what you hope to accomplish over Thanksgiving break. And then finally, you can give yourself kind of short quizzes at the end of each study session. So if you're just studying chapter 1, maybe at the end of that 30 minutes, you give yourself a quick little quiz to make sure you're actually making progress and learning the new material. So the previous slide was about things you should be doing right now. This slide is Thanksgiving break. So think about this as kind of like next week, really next like Tuesday through Sunday. So 2 weeks before your finals, go through your notes, predict and write down questions, work on them until you can answer them from memory. Really just kind of getting things ready. So making sure that you don't have any, when I say predict and write questions, I mean like test questions, but make sure you don't have any questions. If there's something you're still not sure about, go to your professor's office hours or go see the tutoring office. You don't want to wait until the week before finals or finals week to get those questions answered. You want to get those questions answered now. So that way you are ready to go and can study effectively and appropriately. Maybe you're someone that needs to form a study group. If you're someone that can work well with others and like enjoys working in a study group, form a study group of other students in your class or taking the same class, and ask each other hard questions. You know, you don't want to like give each other easy ones or things that each other knows, but also make sure you're writing down the answers. A lot of times when you're in a study group and you're asking questions, you're talking out loud, but exams are not oral. You're going to have to write things down. And it's important that you know how to write down the answers. But also hold each other accountable and have discussions. There might be moments where you kind of like disagree and have to look up an answer, and that's okay. As long as you both can get confirmed what the correct answer is, it's okay to kind of disagree, as long as you're holding each other accountable and not just saying, oh, I think that's it, I'm not sure. You want to make sure that you're actually getting things done and getting the right answer. Predict the test as much as possible. So 2 weeks before the final, start to figure out like, okay, what were the prior tests like? Did they tell you what this test is going to be? Like 50 questions all on chapter this or that. Maybe you can find a practice test. Maybe you have access to your previous test and you can look and see what was on those. Some of those questions might be on your final, but getting a practice test and kind of or even designing your own can really help you out in the long run. And finally, if you have not yet watched the study tips video, or if you want a refresher, that is the link to the study tips video. Remember the study cycle. That can be a really great way to help you kind of start thinking about studying for finals. So preview, attend your class, review your notes, study the material, and then check back to make sure. So 1 week before finals, it's really similar to the same as 2 weeks out. So we're still studying, we're still working in our study groups, we're still writing out example questions, but you might start to add in newly acquired info. So you might have some professors that even a week before finals are still giving you new info or still teaching you new things. And they might be requiring those things on the final. So you want to kind of start folding that into your studying, reviewing your old information. You don't want to stop doing that, but you also want to kind of add in the new, rehearse the new. Double check your final schedule, locations, start to form kind of your game plan. So a week before finals, you want to make sure you know when every final is, where it is, how you get there. Do you need any special materials? Are you allowed to use a calculator? Get that all down, write out your game plan, have a schedule set. I recall there was a time when I had misread my final schedule and I thought an exam was on a Friday when really it was on the previous Friday, and I had missed the exam and almost failed the class. Luckily, the professor allowed me to retake the final at a different time, but I just totally had the schedule wrong. I'd read it wrong. So it's really important that you are getting that schedule down ahead of time and know what it is. That way you're not waiting until the last minute and missing out on a test. Pardon me. Okay, so let's say it's finals week. They are here. These are some things you need to keep in mind during finals week. Pardon me again. Make sleep a priority. Cramming is honestly not going to help you. You getting a full night's rest and being well rested is going to help you a lot more than staying up all night cramming or pulling all-nighters. Nutrition and water are important. So also don't be skipping meals. Don't be eating too terribly. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Have a plan and know your schedule. So again, know when you're going to class, know when you need to get an assignment done. During finals week, you might still have like big projects. It might not just be final exams. So make sure you have everything planned out, know your schedule, and know where you're going. And lastly, you won't be studying any like totally new info during finals week. So if there's anything like brand new, like you don't want to be studying that during finals week. You want to be focusing on the work you've already put in the weeks before and the information you've been given the weeks before. If you have any questions, now's your shot. And it's okay if there are any questions now. Y'all are welcome to send me a text and send me any questions you might have. I'm happy to answer them as best that I can. I want to make sure that you guys are ready for finals, are feeling confident. I know you guys can crush it and will do well. Just be ready to show what you know. A few reminders. So I have virtual office hours coming up on next Wednesday, the 15th. I have 3 different windows where you can pop into Zoom, ask me any questions, get any help you might need. Maybe there's something you're still kind of stuck on and needing help to get resolved. I will be available 10 to 12, 1 to 3, 4 to 6 on the 15th of November. And I will likely do another one in December on the 20th. I do have another workshop coming up, but it is really only for current community college or those going to community college in the future students. So I'm going to be doing a workshop next Tuesday called Community College to University Transfer Tips. So things that you need to know should you be someone in community college that may in the future be transferring to a 4-year school. If you want to get your bachelor's degree, I will have some tips and tricks for that. And lastly, another FAFSA reminder. I think I gave this out last workshop, but I just want to keep kind of hammering this point home. The 2024-2025 FAFSA will not open until December. We have not been given a date yet, which I know kind of stinks. Right now, we're just pretending like it's December 31st. I don't know when it's going to open. I'm really hoping it's sooner than that. But when it opens, when I get a date, I will send out a link to all of you for virtual help appointments so that you can meet one-on-one with me on Zoom to get it done. Many of you have probably filled out the FAFSA before, so you shouldn't have much issue with it. The only thing is this form is brand new. This year, they're really like redoing the whole thing, revamping the whole thing. So it will be a little bit different than it has been in the past. There will be less pages and less questions, but it's just going to look and feel different. So you might need help with that. So we will be doing that. And just so you are aware, if you have filled out a FAFSA, the 2023-2024 FAFSA, which would be the one for this school year, will be good for fall of this year. So fall 23 all the way through summer of 2024. So some of you have been wondering about financial aid for next semester. That should already be taken care of because you do it a year at a time. So this 2024-2025 FAFSA will be good for next fall 2024, and it will go through summer of 2025. So when you're thinking of FAFSA, you always are kind of doing it for the year ahead, and it's always for the entire school year. You won't do it a semester at a time. Again, if you have any questions, if you need any of my social links, you can click on that link tree and it will get you there. Otherwise, you are always welcome to send me a text. I am happy to help as best I can. I thank you for joining me today, and I hope to get to see you all soon. Thanks again.